I work as a professor at Lund University. It's in the most eastern part of university in Finland, near Russian border. So it's 30 kilometers from Russian border, and we are in whole time to understand what I last present disaster situation management environment we have been developing a couple of years now. But then I have concentrated at the Lund University on supervising professional doctorates, so that people coming from industry trying to make doctorates, and most of those have been AI related. As you know, everything is AI related nowadays. And then I work as a professor in practice at Hamk University of Applied Sciences, what's in the middle of Finland and has a huge territory. This environment is the society, how the society is there. And I have been earlier as Hamk Smart research director of Hamk Smart, making proof of concepts for small and medium sized companies. And most of those are data analysis and AI related, then AI solutions related. And finally, I have a consulting company. It's called Spiral Business Services, concentrating on complex topics. And most of all nowadays, I'm like a business advisor for startup companies who are very much related on AI implementation. Those startup companies, and one of those is Pustech Corporation, concentrated on this disaster situation awareness and management, management topics, and like flood disaster or forest fire disaster, whatever it is, or we have the defense disaster. Like topic in Finland, we have 1,300 kilometers common border with Russia, and I have said that we need to have type of a security system for Finland. That's we have concentrated in this disaster management environment, and it's completely related of this data connection, and we need to manage that data from different sources by common ontology model. And we have created that common ontology model for because data have to be in certain form to be capable to use AI agent or whatever AI system there is. Data have to be purified, harmonized.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Vijay, to my left. Vijay.
Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So it has been pleasure for me to participate in this, panel discussion organized by Rabbit AI, and I think Garv has been very consistent in following up. So anyway, I think I recently, last year itself, we founded one company, Agent Callback. So we specialize in AI voice agent. So is a platform for all the enterprise to automate their human calls with their voice agents. And we have basically customers in various domains, starting from banking, insurance, then healthcare, collection agencies, call centers, professional services, etc. So I think that is a in thing for this year, the conversational and the voice AI. And Basically, I have a team which is based out of a United States. Then I have a team in Singapore, Philippines, and back office in India. Apart from this, I have 2 other companies where we provide a complete end-to-end enterprise digital transformation. That is a New Vista Technologies, which specializes in digital transformation, the whole enterprise solutions, ERP, CRM, business intelligence. We do, and then I have another product company, New Smart, which have developed their own HRMS, human resource management system, as well as the event management system. So we have been in the market for last 20 over years, and Singapore is our home, is headquartered in Singapore, but the people are spread over in India, Philippines, US, and Singapore anyway, plus Middle East in Dubai. So that is our forte. So I see the agentic AI is going to take off, like anything specifically with the everyday, the new advancement coming in a conversational AI is going to make life easier. Rather, there is a job transformation which is going to happen, which will be drastic. You will see in the year of 2026. So we are in to help, any organization, or even any pro bono advisory. Also, we are happy out NGOs or non-profit, etc. Yeah, thank you very much. This is my brief.
Thank you, Vijay. I was going to invite Hanit, but I see that Hanit, are you still there? Oh, maybe not. Okay. Hi, Hanit, are you ready to give a brief introduction?
Yeah, sure.
Again,
sure.
sorry. You might have to repeat.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you everyone for coming in. And I guess I see there's a really diverse group. So really happy to see, great diversity. I guess we have a representation from various parts of the world. So if I tell about myself, I am a serial tech entrepreneur. In my career so far, I've founded 5 companies, got a chance to exit 1 company, and running 4 companies, where one of our companies is backed by a private equity group. And my most recent company is Rabbit AI, which we founded in London. And this is backed by big tech leaders from NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft, and a couple others. And we started building in AI much before, when AI was even a buzzword and all. We were doing all those automations and all, and Gen AI was not a term. We're using BERT models and other RNN, CNN models. And with AI coming in, we were one of the very first companies to build SLMs, small language models, and our USP was on-prem, on-device. And that's why even the name Rabbit came up with that. You own your data, own your AI. With the large language models, you're not neither owning your data nor owning your AI. And your AI, if that is commoditized, it won't give you a competitive advantage or a sovereign identity. For a nation, it won't give you a sovereign identity. For an organization, it won't give you a competitive advantage. So on this mission, we built something which is few of our products. One is this: we did partner with a couple of models, or build some open source models and fine-tuned versions of them. They're live on Hugging Face as well. And then we helped organizations deploy safe AI, responsible AI inside their premises. And the organizations, majorly in Europe, our customer base is in Europe, but the team is spread across India, US, Europe, and other parts of the world, and now Australia as well. So we have so far done more than 25 big enterprise projects in our AI journey, successful implementations. We've worked with 7 sovereign governments. I personally serve as an AI advisor to, 2 sovereign governments, of one in Middle East and one in, Australia. And of course, a couple of players here in India as well. So, and on a personal side, I am big advocate of AI for upskilling, AI for impact, AI for good. And that's why I love to be part of these forums and also learn from fellow industry leaders. And on the agentic AI use case side, so basically, Rabbit AI was founded for this purpose that, so I remember this poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, which says, water, water everywhere, all the boats should shrink. Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. So similarly, we said that AI everywhere, where are all the perks? AI everywhere, where's an AI that works? So this mission, we said that we will build an AI which works for the organization beyond the hype, as I guess someone else also mentioned. That beyond the hype, in actual use case, what is the real ROI? And that's where we built, we have a suite of 12 products in Rabbit AI, starting from our own chance RAG library, which is used by 400 plus enterprises, where they can use this RAG to build chatbots or anything on top of any documents. Then we have our infra for managing small language models, deploying open source models in the enterprise load cases. We have routing engines to switch between OpenAI, Claude, and all these things to save costs. We have Cloud Watcher. When AI is deployed in real world applications, can you optimize costs? And this is at population scale when AI is applied. Can you curb the cost? Can you manage the cost? And can you create the reliability and uptime all with this AI? And then we have a couple of learning solutions where in a sandbox environment, the developers can try various agents and see what can be built in production. And then we have our own canvas where anybody can do low code, no code, and build AI agents for workflow automation. So these are a couple of the products, all with same philosophy: own your data, own your AI. And happy to be here. So I'll hand it over to Jane. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. That's a lot of projects that we can deep dive into later. So if I may go to Alex. Alex, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, Jane.
Oh, hello. Hi, Alex. A bio and also, where you see agentic AI being implemented in real life today.
Sure, no problem. So thank you for having me. Good evening and good morning, everyone, wherever you're calling from. So my name's Alex, founder and CEO of GMI Cloud. GMI stands for General Machine Intelligence Cloud. So you can guess I'm definitely in the AI space and building towards the AGI future. So I'll tell you a little bit about my belief. I believe that AI is an extension and augmentation of the carbon life form that we are, hence where the name of my company comes from. And in terms of what my company does, we are providing I would say, all the agentic and GenAI revolution, which I provide the infrastructure, the APIs, and the model access for any GenAI workloads. So right now, I run about 9 data centers across the world, including in Asia, we're in Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, Japan. US, we're coast to coast from Virginia to Denver to Texas. Europe, we actually just opened a new site in Sweden. That's our first landmark site in Europe. And so we provide all the GPU access from frontier labs to nation states to startups and agentic companies that want to test out different frameworks. So that's kind of the underlying infrastructure or highways for anyone, or any founders or enterprise that want to build or scale their agentic workflows. And aside from just hosting, these GPUs, which can be very difficult to operate, and this only startups knows what to do. Like we're called it AI digital native folks know how to use it. We also provide literally almost every single models out there, about 140 plus models from open source and closed source models for people to use, right? I believe that, we need to lower that, I would say, barrier entry, right? So literally you can vibe code, you can pull the APIs of say Claude plus Gemini 3 plus GPL 3 to build your workflows, right? And we also provide these called on-prem solutions. So, the key of the mission is to allow anyone to scale AI quickly. And so since I'm building infrastructure, so I guess this transition to the second question is, what I'm excited about the agentic revolution. So interesting thing about my job is, I see a lot of different companies being built, from voice generation, call center, to image gen, to video generation companies, for advertisements, for movies, actually. I actually have a company that is building the world's first pure Gen AI video movie, full 2 hours, that is fully video generated, no actors involved, which is really amazing, right? That's kind of on the entertainment space. We also have like primary healthcare, AI nurses on the healthcare side that are being built, and foundational model training, training frontier models for America's sovereignty. We also have, cybersecurity company building blue agents, blue team and red team, right? So they're stimulating attacks on the GPUs every day, right? Before GPU revolution, they were able to do it only once a month because it's so compute intensive. Now they can do it every day, simulating blue team and red team attacks. I think these are just a small fraction of examples that are running currently. So instead of like sharing with you a particular one, I just see there's so many things building on our platform. I just want to share with the audience that there's so much possibilities out there, from voice to just for people who want to build the modality that you want to build in, right? From the text based to voice based to image based to video based, and all kinds of things together. And text based, you can expand into coding, right? Or task completion, to summarization or tools, to Excel helpers for financial analysts, right? To, voices, call center, to healthcare, telehealth, AI nurses, AI doctors, right? There's so many things that are being built right now. And so I guess the call to action is really to invite, as well as founders want to be, to build on this, on your AI journey as soon as possible.
Thank you, Alex. I'll be quite curious to watch your AI movie, 2 hours. That's record breaking, I think. Right. If we may go to Roman, are you there?
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah. Yeah. If you can share with us, what you're doing, your bio, and also, where you see agentic AI.
With pleasure.
Use cases.
So I'm Romain, as it is written on the screen. Based in Hong Kong, working for a company called Boltec, headquartered in Singapore, by the way. And Boltec is an insurtech unicorn, providing technical solutions for insurances. That's one of our main pillars. Also providing ourselves solutions, especially for the telecom world, as in protections and insurances on mobile phones. The other stack, mostly focused for the moment in the US, is an insurtech exchange, which is seen as a marketplace for insurances, whereby customers can go and look up insurances for their home, for their car, receiving offers from different insurance programs. So in this space, I'm the head of AI and data science, obviously in charge of bringing innovation through the lens of AI and, of course, generative AI in the company. So 2 use cases, I'll focus on one, as you were asking for. Gen AI is very big for us in the space of customer support. We do, since we have our own product, GenAI powered contact center. One that we are proud of is based in Korea and is running in Korean, automating fully part of the conversations and at least partially all of them. And the other one was more differentiating, and I want to talk about today, is our GenAI bot doing outreach communications in the US and soon in other countries in Europe and Asia. So this bot is very specific for insurance, whereby depending on the market, and customers will leave their contact to be called back. They want an insurance, but they need more details. And since last year, we have a bot doing this operation. So this is a GenAI bot, obviously, in charge of doing the call, contacting the customer, introducing itself like a human agent would do, qualifying the insurance, connecting to other insurance partners, retrieve the right quotations, and continue the conversation with the customers, either to close directly the sale in a full end-to-end fashion or redirect still to a human agent, whether the customer wants it explicitly or needs more detail that cannot be processed by the bot. So that's an end-to-end solution that we developed for ourselves, but that we are also selling to other partners which would like to extend their portfolio in the insurance world. Well, I'll stop here for that introduction.
All right, yeah. So thank you everybody for your introduction. I'm just taking a quick check on looking at the time. Okay, so for the purpose of the discussion, we have come up with about 8 questions for the next hour. So we will probably have to skip a few of the questions depending on how the timing goes. But just to kick off, right? All of you have worked with many different clients, as you briefly mentioned, across many different use cases, different domains, right? So when you sit down with your clients, right, and to decide when and how to deploy AI agents, the first question is, as Hanit was also alluding earlier, there's a lot of hype. So how do you decide what is more suitable for agentic AI rather than just a normal sort of, automation or chatbot, right? So how do you go about, looking at the business problems that you are trying to solve and looking at to see whether agentic AI is the best solution? So perhaps I'll start with you, Hannes. You talked about AI hype earlier, so perhaps you will be able to help us kick off.
Sure, I guess a very valid question. So first of all, our approach, so what we have seen is with any new technology coming in, everybody gets very excited looking at others that they don't want to miss the bus. But the real thing is, so I remember a conference where someone asked me, and it was one of the top journalists who asked me that, and this was almost 3 years back. So how much AI to use, when to use AI, when not to use AI, and what to do with AI and all that stuff. So I'm like, it's analogous to asking that you bought a new car, brand new car, right? And then you ask, how much should I drive the car? Where should I take the car? Where should I not take the car? And stuff like that. So I'm like, it should not be based on what technology is available. How do I do it? It should be more like on the first principles. What are my problems? What am I trying to do? And will AI can actually add an incremental or a disruptive advantage to that? There could be both possibilities. There could be some use cases in my workflow, in my customer journey, where AI can add a disruptive advantage or AI can add an incremental advantage. And then basis my organization's needs, I'll go and do that. So if I tell 1 or 2 cases with a step-by-step approach, let's say we were speaking to one of the, again, banking insurance majors. So one of their problems was that, so they're a big bank, global bank, but have a significant presence in India as well. So the problem was the people, the product guys are sitting in ivory towers. They create very good insurance policies, very good credit and loan policies. And then the sales is typically, because they're selling a lot of population, a lot of sales is with door-to-door sales by people going in tier 2, tier 3 cities and telling them that this is the insurance product you should buy, this is the loan you should buy. And the biggest problem was not the sales guy telling the customer right or wrong, is the sales guy of the company not knowing what the product guy has made, right? And there's a language difference as well. So they typically are fluent in English, the people who design the product, but the people who are consuming the product, they are in their regional and vernacular languages. So this was a problem which was existent 10 years back also and today also. So we approached this problem and we figured out that in your entire customer journey, from designing of insurance policy to sharing it with your salespeople, to going door to door and getting to all those millions of users, to making them understand and to making them come on the platform for, taking this thing. In this journey, where is the biggest bottleneck? The bottleneck understood that the newest products have the least sales, and the team is innovating on the products, but they don't hit the market at the right time. One of the reasons was the capability of salespeople. So the problem which came out was very different, the capability of salespeople. And then we asked ourselves, what is it that can help salespeople? So the solutions which came in is larger training, longer training, hand holding. And they're not enough trainers where we can train this 2,000 sales folks, right? And then the problem is okay, this means it requires hand holding at scale, personalization at scale, and on-the-job training. 3 things, right? So you can train me on everything, how to use an iPhone, right? But when I'm stuck, let's say that my camera is not working or my Uber is not working, then and there I need an exact thing that go to settings, do this, do that. This is, I call in just-in-time training, just-in-time learning. So when the sales guy is talking to the customer and you ask me a question, let's say you ask me something about Rabbit AI, Jane, you asked me in this webinar that what is the actual, maybe the valuation of Rabbit AI, which is right now there in the last round, and I may not remember. I'll call my CFO immediately, and that CFO could be an AI CFO, and he'll tell me the exact details, and I'll tell you just in time. By the time you are speaking the question, I'll have my answer ready from here. So this is the kind of possibility which AI can do. And as Larry was also saying, not just the generic AI, but which can chat anything, but specific AI, which is also having context, but is also having, the needs of the user and the offerings of my product. And then there comes the privacy and security layer, because you can't use a GPT or Claude or any of the publicly available models that specifically in the banking and finance sector, there are a lot of regulations. So we used our custom SLM, specifically understanding the bank's policies and their insurance and loan, the thousands of products, and then translate that into vernacular language, build a knowledge base, and now their users have it on WhatsApp and Slack. Their sales guys have it on WhatsApp and Slack. And these 2,000 salespeople, when they go out in various, cities and villages and talk to, a million customers, they know exactly right thing about their financial product, and they're able to help just in time. And we implemented this project in a span of 9 months, end-to-end testing. Typical duration before AI, these kind of projects used to take 2 to 3 years. Everybody will agree. And 9, full population scale rollout. So the population concerned, the end population concerned is close to 50 million people. So that is rolled out, and this is possible. So now that company, we ourselves, we can say that AI has a use case where it is getting used to pass the information just in time, to equip my sales team to pass that information to my million customers, because in the banking and financial advisory, a lot of deals still happen face-to-face meeting, right, at the ground level. So this was, I guess, one of the use cases where we approached that what is your customer journey today? What are the areas where bottlenecks? How can your organization grow? And then we see that where AI can be applied. So much before I will say that technical consulting, the business know-how is very much required. And that's where with AI, I guess, domain expertise should get married to the technical expertise. And this is how, we act as a technical expert. There's someone who knows more about the pharmacy industry. We need to get deeper into their head, how their business works. And then only we are able to design a custom solution. And this is what exactly an OpenAI or a Claude or a Gemini won't be able to do, right? And this is where people like us have to lead the revolution. So that is something which is my take. And just last lines, if I summarize this thing, so basically, it's more about, as I said in the very beginning, that you should understand where not to use AI also. Like if you're going to a nearby market which is crowded and you have a brand new car and your dad is rich, so you have a lot of petrol. But when you're going over there, you will anyways get stuck with that big car and everybody else will be able to move forward and you're the one with heavy infra which is getting stuck over there. So where not to use AI is also a very strategic advantage or strategic thing which I guess the people should be aware of. Yeah, I'll sum up my thoughts with this.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I'm not sure who would like to go next to answer this question. Oliver, yes.
Yeah, I'd certainly be happy to jump in, right? I guess all of us understand and know that we went through the ERP episode, right? Everybody started to use all the different softwares and SAP was one of them. I remember one of my experience was when we were developing the SAP solution for the client. Looking at SAP and this real-time data processing, real-time data access that you can have, the client still requested for about 500 reports. It just doesn't make sense, right? And AI is going to be along the same journey, right? If we continue with our current process of doing things, and we just want to throw in the AI as a stopgap, as a tool just to fix a particular problem, we're really asking for trouble. I go back to the fundamentals of PPT. PPT not as in PowerPoint slides, but really people, process, and technology, right? So AI is the technology, but the people and the process needs to be evaluated as well. And what can we do to upgrade the process as we start to engage with the intelligence that's being brought forward to us? And in doing that, the people needs to upskill, needs to be very different. They need to know how to use the AI technology to support them in their role. At the end of the day, right, I know many of us use Gen AI tools, and of course, in time to come, we're going to have a lot of agentic AI tools as well, right? Call it ChatGPT, call it Claude, and so on and so forth. But what is important and what CIOs, CXOs need to understand is with all these Gen AI tools, you are increasing individual productivity. I repeat, individual productivity. You are not enhancing enterprise productivity. And the difference is very simple, right? You can write an email faster. You can do a code faster. But how does it help the company? And that's the reason why a lot of reports I read a lot of reports, and some of them came in over the new year, right? That 80 to 85% of companies that engage with AI find that it's not giving them the ROI they are expecting. Right? And the reason, very simple, they are using AI as a plug and play option to the company's current problems. And worst of all, right, I just read the most recent MIT report, right? They say that many CEOs delegate the AI transformation to somebody down the chain. So it went from the CEO to the CIO to the project manager to eventually the developer, right? It's not going to work. It's really a whole transformation journey that the CXO from C-suites needs to understand and hence be able to adopt the technology in the right place and just drop the hype, right? You need to know what you want to use it for. And Hamid also mentioned, right, need to know when to use AI and when not to use AI. Exactly. I run a particular training program that actually goes into that discussion. How can we help the C-suite understand their current process, where the problems are, and how do we restructure the entire work in order for them to be successful? Now, one key part, and I guess Singapore is very guilty of this, is we support grants, we provide subsidies for implementation of emerging technology, and one important criteria is how much cost do you save? And I tell my C-suite friends, no. Sometimes you just cannot just look at the bottom line. You have to look at the top line. AI could help you diversify, expand your top line. So sometimes it's not just a function of removing stuff or saving costs. It's a function of how can you do more, right? Keep the same set of cost structure that you have, but you increase your top line, your revenue line, so that eventually your profits still go well. And that kind of value proposition is so important for C-suites to consider. So basic message, look at PPT, people, process, technology, right? Don't forget the three must work together, and never delegate an AI option down the chain to, well, whoever knows AI or whoever talks about AI. Back to you, Jane.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we have a question on actually ROI as well, but you know, I agree with you that AI is a big transformation journey. It's a big change management exercise that requires the involvement of everyone, right? Everyone is like in cybersecurity, we like to say that everyone it's a team sport, so everyone has a role to play. So if I may just go to, I see Vijay next to Hanit on my screen here. So yeah, so when you work with your clients, you know, how do you advise them when to use AI, agentic AI, and when not to use it?
Yeah, okay. It's a very good question. So basically, you know, we have been working, you know, in the last, you know, 10 over years, I have worked with close to more than 300 clients, you know, so into the, you know, digital transformation space. And but since last year, we have been working on the agentic AI and specifically a conversational AI. Okay, one of the key challenges, what you know, is in the voice AI, specifically conversational AI, we face is, I think, you know, initially there is a hesitation for client to believe, you know, the latency issues, as well as, you know, the tone, you know, the AI voice tone. If you look at, you know, when, you know, the Siri was there from 24, you can see there's a, you know, 25 have been a year of a transformation for the voice AI, and 26 see a lot of this transformation. But you know, the client always say, you know, my customer always say that my clients, you know, they are you know, they are either huge enterprises or they are huge, you know, very, you know, HNIs, high net worth individuals. And if the AI takes up a call, you know, how do they feel it? You know? So there is a question, you see, that when, you know, these are the challenges what conversational AI have been going through. But at the same time, you know, there have been a lot of like clients. Say, for example, I have a very big clients in Philippines as well as in Nigeria, you know, and they are the collection agencies. Okay. And, you know, the collection agency is generally have to chase people, you know, that those, you know, who have not overpaid, you know, they have a, generally in the call center, you know, they have like 40 plus over people in the call center, and their job is to chase people that, okay, there, you know, AI is, we train the AI to be humble and polite just to remind them, you know. But one of the challenges, you know, when to use AI. So for this particular client, I say when to use AI. Your attrition rate is high. Generally, if you see in all telemarketers call centers, the attrition is very high. People don't want to do the job. You know, you have to pay very high. You know, retraining is very high. And then you need a, supposing if you are a, you know, you need a heavy infrastructure, you need a space. Okay. And where the AI can work for you 24/7, literally. Okay. So then the client say, yes, here is the point. So this use case works for me well. The AI can speak. We can you know, change the tone of a voice, because we can have a custom voice the way your agent talks, and it can switch over the languages. So it can speak in the same dialect, whichever dialect you say, we can do that, popular in the same as customer is. And that is where they get their return. They don't have to increase their infrastructure. They pay, if it's in Singapore, they pay 1/3 the cost of what they are paying to human. So that is where, these kind of use cases are there. But I think, look at the banks, or the insurance, they may be hesitating that, okay, whether, the AI, because, as the banks have a lot of compliance that, it has to be within the, it has to be a private cloud within the bank's data center. It should not go to the other countries. Now, LLMs are, if you have to go to the LLMs, not always there in that particular countries. Your GPUs are not there in that particular country. So there you face a lot of compliance issues. But at the same time, banks also have a use cases, non-critical banking functions, and KYC, know your customer. Know your customer is a quite challenging use cases, So where you get a return, know your customer is non-critical, and you have to chase so much. So they have been eventually you have to find the use cases where AI can give you, and fit in and give you a better return on investment, rather than, touching like, not to say that, oh, I have a high net worth individual, maybe I giving a wealth advisory. No, it might not, it may fail. AI may fail. People may not want to, they may want to speak to the senior person who has a knowledge of, basically a wealth management, good knowledge, rather than a bot. The another case is basically we have been working on a very huge in the healthcare. That is also very, and that particular company who we are working with is they are based out in they have many people in Korea, Japan, and one of the challenge in Korea and Japan is a nightmare to get a call center person. Okay. And especially for them, their job is they are the outsourced, call center for the hospital, and their job is just to set an appointment and to do the prescription. So they are not giving it advisory, that this one. So that is acceptable. So in a nutshell, I don't want to take, I know other people are there. Basically define the use case and do the workflow automation. You see the customer will get a return on investment.
I think I see this ROI question keeps popping up. So hopefully we get the chance to tackle it more in depth later. So just to move along the conversation, I'm quite keen to go to the next question about, once you see that use case has been shortlisted, right? So for example, you have decided on the specific business problem to solve. How do you actually translate it into concrete requirements in terms of, what kind of key, you briefly touched on it, like compliance, KYC, cost, what kind of key parameters shape the choices around what models to use, whether you buy or build, right? And the overall sort of tech design. So if I may go to Alex, you work with clients a lot in on the infrastructure side, the very core infrastructure. How do you see your clients? What kind of decision process goes behind the scene to make them select the specific sort of tech stack model selection?
Yeah, it really depends on who. Thank you for that question. It's a very, very good one. So it really depends on who you're talking to, right? If it's startup founders, so I'll frame it into two different categories, two buckets. One is startup guys, another is the enterprise, traditional non-tech enterprise. Okay, so on the startup guys, I would not suggest you to buy any GPUs to start. Just start with the APIs, right? And if you're building language models, just use, whichever is the SOTA model, right? Maybe it's Claude. They have quite good accuracy and performance and less hallucinations. OpenAI is also pretty good, decent. The Gemini series is also great, right? So you can just build that as a base kind of model frameworks, and then you can build different workflows, right? For example, we provide these workflows for people to use. So it's not enough to just have a snapshot of just like a single model, but you need to build a workflow that's what makes it a application, right? And so you can literally code this within a weekend. It's quite simple. You can build your own application. I'll give you a really kind of cute and dumb example. We have a guy that built AI Jesus. What does that mean? He literally built a RAG on Bible. That's all he did. Took 1 weekend, maybe 10 hours. It'll be done. And then he go onto his church and sold that on a subscription, $10 a month per person, to literally describe and explain Bibles and stories, scriptures to people. Simple ideas, right? I have a YouTuber who's like, oh, I don't want to be a YouTuber. I'm already at the top of my game. My subscriber count is capped. And he wants to be a tech founder, right? And so he builds this YouTube translation tool, where summarization tools, right? That summarize key points, right, for them. It's a very, very simple tool. So this is like for individual contributors, for startup folks, founders. And I'll switch gears to enterprise. First, you need to identify kind of the problem sets that you're solving, right? So if it's look, so I'll go to like kind of what you should use. Compliance aside, that all can be solved. It's quite a simple problem. It's just a logistics issue. If it's a banking stuff, KYC, security, we can build dedicated endpoint. We can build private cloud adjacent to whichever the banking location within a country, within a county, and you can even box up the servers, cage up is what it's called, cage, and physically caging it with direct fiber to the user location. That's all easily being solved. But first is to think about what you're actually solving, right? So you should establish a benchmark first, as in, okay, what am I trying to beat? Right? If it's call center, then your benchmark against, say, $10 an hour of the people that are using that you're currently paying for, and comparing between the accuracy, and set up a sandbox system. And once that's done, basically, okay, your AI system, okay, human accuracy is 97%. My AI is 99%, with lower latency, higher accuracy, and lower cost in this small sets, right? And then you can expand. And expand, you can rely on infrastructure companies like us to tell you basically what infrastructure you should be on. And if you don't know, we can also build everything for you, and we can run the models for you and select for you, right? Because this is cloud's job. Literally, like, cloud does only two things: increase throughput and lower costs. That's it. That's the only two things that the cloud company has to do. Google, AWS, everyone does that. And we're doing it in a native way, so we're more efficient. But this is our job to kind of solve these problems for customers. So I think in a non-native AI native enterprise, you should think about your objective. comparing that to the existing system that you're using with or that you're using right now, create that sandbox, compete. Once you win, you expand. And once you have tested that case, then you rely on infrastructure company. There's professional services that you can always ask, and that they'll be more than happy to help you. And we're more than happy to help you guys to any enterprise to expand kind of your infrastructure need, and we can tailor it towards kind of the security, the KYC, and everything above to scale your system, and obviously with reasonable budget that you guys have. I think that would be the most reasonable way to start. So call center obviously is one big category and example. The easiest way for enterprise to start, what I've seen, is like just internal GPT, right? Obviously, you can't pipe all the private confidential data to OpenAI, right? It's a closed source model, so it pipes whatever to Texas or whatever. So you do want your on-prem solutions, so all your private data is trained, fine-tuned in a local region. But again, objective first. What are you trying to solve? Yeah, I like you reminding us that we have to also set up a benchmark, right? What are the drivers behind that benchmark? Like, for example, accuracy, latency, cost. All these different parameters will influence your design choices as well as your transformation journey. So on that point, if I may go to Professor Vesa, are you still there?
I'm still waiting.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So earlier you mentioned that data is a very important key component when to use AI, right? When deploying AI. So what are the kind of parameters that you see working with your clients and stakeholders? What are the kind of things that people have to think about when it comes to data that will influence your design choices when it comes to deploying and implementing AI?
Yeah, first of all, it's you need to have make something like a business situation analysis with the customer, so that understanding the human and technology strategy, what they are carrying out, because both of those will be needed, because the human side is the thinking process is really changing if you have to have AI agent as a teammate. And that means that human strategy has to be involved with a business strategy as well. And but it can be a very quick operation. In small and medium-sized companies, we have created quite quick operation for that part, but finding out then the problem areas. Normally, SME companies, they have several problems. And, they would like to have several AI agents to solve the problems. But you can't concentrate too many problems, because you have to find out the functionality of the problem area. How is it changing? Because there is human is changing, human behavior is changing, and the human competence is changing at the same time. Need to be changed when an engagement must be changed when you do something by different way, for example, by using AI agent. But then when we go to the data side, behind the problem area is a lot of data. Is it harmonized so that you can use AI agent? Is it like quality data to be used in like data analysis, and to be involved with the AI agent to make a task with that data, so that if it's not quality data, there isn't any kind of trust about is the AI agent making the task with a proper way. And then when you think about data, most of the data comes from own sources, so that rule-based systems, and that should be harmonized so that when making that creating data architecture out of that for the company, so that that data architecture is becoming like a domain-specific large language model for that company, and that functionality the company is really doing. And there is like a place for this dialogue engineering, what's been discussed quite a lot by generative AI way, but you have to make interpretation of that data, what comes out of this generative AI way, and or AI agent, what's using that data and rule-based data when making tasks and making decisions, for example, with the human person. Then this human side, we need to have this just-in-time learning capability for, and micro-credentials, so that they are doing their normal tasks, but learning more. And Oliver is expert on that area, this just-in-time learning type of activities. And we have had a lot of use cases where that hasn't happened, and engagement doesn't happen at the same time. If there is a change in business functionality, and by using some type of AI in your business. So I think that is, if I go to this university side, so that we are changing our education system quite dramatically these days, because if we don't educate the students to use all type of AI opportunity, they are not capable to help in companies when they are new staff members in the company. They need to be already somehow engaged to use new tools and new opportunities, and also this thinking process is modern. Thinking process should be modern for new students going to the companies. Okay, that's all from my part.
Oh, right, interesting. I'm just thinking about your last sentence or remark about thinking problems. Hopefully we get more time to drill into what that means. But I understand that Alex has to go. Alex? Is Alex still there? No, gone. Yes, you have to rush off now?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your contribution. So hopefully we get the chance to have another roundtable with your contribution more favorable towards your time zone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jane, and thank you for the esteemed panelists here today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Alex. Right. So just to continue on with our roundtable discussion. So if I may go to also Romain and also Larry, right? If we can switch gears a bit and we have just looked at, how we think about what, when, and how to implement agentic AI. If we can switch gears a bit and think about what has worked and what has not quite worked when we have made that decision to, deploy agentic AI. What are the kind of scaling challenges that you have encountered when you work with your clients from a technology perspective or from a governance perspective? I think a lot of people are talking about governance challenges like autonomy and authority, access controls questions. So we'd just like to get your take, when you deploy, when you go from, say, a pilot or sandbox situation to a full production, what are the kind of challenges that you see when you scale? Who would like to go, Larry or Romain?
I'd like to have invite Romain to go first. I believe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hear from Romain.
All right.
I'll give it a first stab. All right. So our customers, as I was saying in my introduction, are greatly insurance sees, and consequently their requirements are quite high. So when we entered this world quite early compared with our customers, and realized that closing the sale was taking a lot of time. So what helped us greatly? I think that's a common topic I'm happy to hear. Selling just by saying it's AI doesn't work. Usually it leads to problems. You have to identify the problem. That will work in the sense that you can close the deal. It sounds very stupid, but that's the first step. And then to your question, which is more technically oriented, first, we have to ensure that customers are okay with the inherent risks of AI. There's still an expectation, especially when we talk about conversational AI, to have a full control on the bot, and that the bot will answer exactly the way we want. And here there's a clear need to set expectations, and that's very important. Example, right, just on experience, then when we were showing the demo, actually very solid demo, then Mr. A had wanted the answer like that, and Mr. B or Miss B an answer like this, right? Just a variations of words. And that was already creating dissatisfaction because both wanted it exactly in their way, in a static fashion. To widen the lens, we have to accept that there is some stochasticity, let's say variability around AI. This has to be understood and endorsed by the customer. Then, still talking about major corporations, you have to come with a clear framework when it comes to security. Again, quite standard, but security compliance is just non-negotiable, and you cannot invent it on the fly. You need to know your processes. It has to be documented and presented as something that you know already and can implement right away as per the standards. Likewise, what has really helped is show that we are solid when it comes to observability. And we started Gen AI, and it was working, it was fantastic. Just an LLM call, and people were amazed. But when we talk about multi-agent systems, that's often the case. You need to know what is happening. You need to demonstrate that it's auditable, traceable, because again, there will be an audit. And you've got to be prepared. It takes time, energy, and people, but you need that to close a sale again with your customers. And last but not least, it will help you to continuously improve. Because what you deploy day one, hopefully will work. And normally you come with a product that is meant to work, but needs to adapt and perhaps to self-adapt. So that's everything around self-learning and observability, which comes specifically with generative AI, with slightly different tools, right? So we may just quote open source names, or where you can buy a license, like LangFuse in the first place, LangSmith if you want, or Rise Phoenix. All those tools need to be implemented if you want to be able to manage your solution. So on purpose, I've mentioned what's around AI, not necessarily inside, but when you want to sell, and that was the genesis of your question, you need to have those processes in place so that you can offer a full solution that customers will be ready to buy and consequently implement and pay at the end of the day.
So good. I would like to just quick jump in for a while. Just to build upon what Romain is saying, right? You usually let the smarter people go first so that you just simplify their show. Now, mine will be pretty short because your question centered around, the planning versus actual implementation in an enterprise setting. Just to bring back the focus, right? here's what's there to say, right? A lot of time as implementers, as technologists, as solution architect, I found that I spend a lot more time engineering clarity than the actual technical work, right? Me and my team, right? So the hardest work is not even implementing the solution. And, truth be told, cost of execution has come down so much. Execution is cheap, but clarity is not. So a lot of my job center, our job, right, as professionals, is to help our C-suite to really get that kind of clarity that they need. So moving from, like I say, put that logic behind that magic. Be clear before you are clever, right? So, a lot of time, it's about managing expectation, extracting clarity, and we have to be expert on that. That's our responsibility. So I would say 3 AI before we even go into the actual production. The first AI before artificial intelligence is align intention. Do we have intention that's aligned throughout all stakeholders, not just as a company, but throughout all the stakeholders through their individual lens and self-interest, right? The second AI that comes before AI is, to me, do we have actionable insights, right? Do we have insights that we can already work on? So there's a lot of time that we want to jump into the what so, agentic, open claw, AGI, but so what? People forget to ask what end goal does it achieve? So it's not so much of that engineering aspect, but the clarity aspect. And the third one is applied intuition. Now, a lot of time, again, with AI, because it's probabilistic, right? We have to apply certain level of intuitiveness in our decision making as well. All right. But if I may just quickly swing over from a bit of strategic into engineering, and that's just one sentence, extensive testing. And that's the biggest difference between your demo that excites all the VC out there and real life hallucination tolerance of hallucination free, if I may say, real life use case that cannot afford to fail. Testing. We find ourselves spending a lot more time in testing than developing in real life cases. That's the biggest difference in deployment into production. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, testing is a big topic. I'm not sure whether we have the time to address it today. I'm just quite conscious of the time, and I have the team has prepared a set of very specific questions for each speaker. So wait 1 second. Let me just see. I get something here. Since we're running short, can move into the. Not sure. Okay, right. So I think what I have been told is that we can skip the speaker questions. Right. Okay. So maybe before we jump to Hanit's presentation, just a quick sort of roundup in terms of the ROI, right? So just want to get a sense of, what have you seen from your conversations with the senior management on the client side or with your stakeholders, right? What really are the key sort of ROI targets that people are looking at? Is it just mainly cost, or is it accuracy, the non sort of dollar sign type targets, benchmarks? Is it, talent transformation? So if I could get like a 1 minute kind of comments from each one of you, maybe perhaps I can start with Larry, since you just finished your presentation.
Sure, why not? So we have gone a bit further. Our ultimate test is when someone can leave a review on a public internet saying that, oh, I'm so happy that, Diana is so, helpful and serve us all the way, not even knowing that Diana is actually AI powered. Now, that will be our greatest measure of success. Yeah. So what we do is that we invented a new metrics. We measure delight. How can we measure delight beyond all those technical parameters that does not mean anything to the end consumer or the end user, right? So if you think about it, who are we serving with that? Then we invent metrics to really move the needle. And in our case, we measure delight, and delighting the fact that they don't know that they are being served by AI. So that to me, that would be our Turing test. Yeah.
There's a Turing test. Is it kind of a test?
Maybe that's the wrong use. Yeah, maybe there's a wrong use of choice of word lah. But the ultimate test of delight, the ultimate test of customer being served without being conscious that they are talking to an AI. Nothing wrong with that, right?
No, nothing wrong. Yeah, excellent.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Romain?
Yeah. So I'm in a different industry. It's very B2B business I'm in. So consequently, no matter the arguments, what we bring, the value proposition, will have to be tied to a dollar value. Even if we claim there's a metric such as accuracy, then it has to be converted in a great fashion to a dollar sign. Just extending a little. Before getting there, we have to build the solution. Here, there's still something that has to mature, I believe, is aligning between tech and product, which metric we want to achieve. Because here we talk accuracy, right? And when we ask, so, okay, I'm a humble tech person, how good my model is, then that would be 100% most of the time the answer. So I need to explain how much is realistic and ask them how much we need to make the business profitable. So that, back to your question, and conversation with customers, it's money, no doubt, in a B2B conversation. Then in-house, sometimes there's more alignment needed because the conversation between the money and the technical metric is still an open and not always structured discussion.
Right. So need to translate the technical sort of outcomes to the dollar sign. Oliver? Yes. Sure. So yeah, question around ROI. Earlier you talked a lot about the cost and not just the cost but also the opportunities. So is there any other sort of underestimated aspects of when it comes to benchmarking the adoption success of AI agents that we have not really tackled?
I think one important aspect of ROI, which many C-suite do not recognize, is the fact that you upgrade the intelligence capacity of your workforce. Right now, while we think about replacing the human beings on the job, but what is important is if you can use AI and your entire intellectual capabilities upgraded to a level whereby now you have a lot more competent and productive and efficient team, I think that's a very strong ROI that you can get, not necessarily just in terms of dollar value or savings at the end of the day, right? Of course, I talked about the top line earlier. So the second factor, which I think is going to be important, is how do you upgrade the intellectual capacity of the organization. Another factor to consider really is to look at how then can you dovetail into your partners in the supply chain. In any business, right? Whether it's insurance, whether it's in banking, whether it's in production, oil and gas, you name it, right? The world is not going to allow us to operate in silos. We must work together with our partners. And AI must be able to help us extend that reach to our partners to facilitate greater collaboration, not just cross-partnership, but also cross-border. So that would be a second or a third ROI that I think is important. Now, many of us just zoom into bottom line, and that's simply because we are caught with this idea of the past, right? That everything is linear, and hence that's the case. So I'll just pause there, give it the 1 minute, but I can definitely talk a lot more later. Back to you, Jim.
All right. Oh, thank you. Hanit, you're next to Oliver on my screen.
Okay. So you want me to start the presentation or just summarize the notes?
No. So basically, just on the ROI question, it is a bit. We throw this term around quite a lot. So if you could just help us, maybe perhaps suggest to us one aspect of the ROI that we constantly sort of don't understate. We talk a lot about costs. But of course, there's talent, opportunities, etc. So perhaps just one.
Yeah. In one line, I would very much agree with, I guess someone mentioned here that people are very much concerned about bottom line, specifically when you talk of CIOs and CTOs. And if tech is not their product, right, tech is more of a cost center to them, they're very much concerned about the bottom line and the costs and all, and cost optimization. Whereas the real value of AI and the ROI of AI can come from enablement, and with the same cost structure, can you increase your top line? Can you increase various other ways by using the same team structure, same tech stack? Can you serve way more people, way more reliably? Can you increase customer delight? So I would say on the top line side, diversification side, and customer delight side, they are the three areas where AI can give a much bigger ROI. And looking at cost optimization and only the bottom line optimization with the same top line, I guess that's a very myopic view for ROI. That's my 1 minute of small summary. Yeah.
All right, thanks. We'll hear more from your presentation later, I guess. Visa, Professor, if you could perhaps share with us your one thought about ROIs, not just about costs.
Okay, I summarize. This has been very interesting discussion, but I raise up Larry's comment on customer, and that's the most important, the customer whom you are doing service or delivering products. And I work also with the business-to-business customers, mostly business-to-business customers, and the solution architecture, understanding physical infrastructure, intelligent infrastructure, and solution infrastructure. It's a layered model of that one, and that's the most important, to understand where is the data, what you can use in new services, and what to do for that service. You need to, is there a place for AI agent to make the tasks in that solution architecture area? But then thinking about the solution architecture and technology development these days, so this human intelligence, artificial intelligence balance understanding is, and the interaction understanding, and where is the balance in now and where it could be in 2 years, because during 3 last years the balance has changed dramatically. There are so many opportunities, and we have been dealing with Oliver quite a lot about that human factor area. I made on chat one conference where we are involved. Oliver makes a keynote presentation, and I'm running or chairing 2 conference tracks, and it's a conference concentrating on human factors and economics. You are welcome to participate, and that's in Istanbul in Turkey next summer.
All right, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Professor. Yeah, so on Oliver's point about we are still kind of stuck in the classical way, linear way of thinking, right? So cost is always the big factor when it comes to ROI, but there's other factors as well. So finally to Vijay, when you talk about ROI, what are, besides cost, what should we be focusing on?
Okay, yeah, thank you. So it's a very great question. So I often ask, because since we are into B2B, I often ask, many companies or many individuals, whether your company is, are they going into AI transformation or no? Okay, many times now, since last year, I was getting like slowly, we are looking into AI, but on the individual basis, everyone is using AI. They are using ChatGPT, they are using, Gemini, they are using Anthropy, and individual, output have gone tremendously up. By, you get better documentation, you have to come out with the research, business plan, everything is done on the AI, which personally I see for myself also, it has gone 3 to 4 times. I'm a one person, but I do all this stuff. I don't need additional stuff. So as far as the companies, most companies, individual basis, most of the companies, they are using it in the day-to-day task. So there is a productivity you can obviously see in the organization. And when it comes to a B2B level, so I think everyone boils down, there are 2 kinds of things depending on the use cases. Okay. Certain use cases you can directly translate to the human cost. Say, for example, in the call center, you can say, okay, I can reduce the cost by the AI voice agent by half the cost or 1/3 the cost. Okay, so and you don't need an additional space, you don't need additional infrastructure. So that is one directly the cost. Second is where you have to look another use cases where you may not be able to measure is a customer outcome, that companies are able to pay depending on the use case what is the outcome of that result. So that is also big ROI. You define the KPI before you take up the project, like, okay, for this kind of thing you are going to get, maybe your customer satisfaction may go up, you can acquire more customers, or you can reduce your business, you can reduce your implementation cycle by this many percentage. So these are the things. So these are actually 3 things which I see, and we have also taken, like, okay, when we take up the project, either there are two things for B2B, either by customer outcome, or which customer outcome be defined by KPIs or by the cost. So these are the 2 things. So the use case is very important, where you can directly show, how companies are going to basically get benefited by the adoption of the AI. Yeah, thank you.
Right. So thank you. So I'm just looking at the time again. Just do a very quick sort of review of the questions that we have explored. So basically, we looked at some use cases. We explored the question of when to implement AI, when agentic AI, when not to implement agentic AI, some scaling challenges, and also some ROI considerations. And now, if I may, Hanit, if I may just steal 5 minutes from your presentation slot. Olivier has quite a special request. If we can sort of inject some liveliness to this conversation, and he suggests that what if I could just ask each person to think about for 30 seconds to 1 minute. What if AI agent is your customer? How do we deal with it? How would you answer that? Maybe Oliver, you go first since you suggested the question.
Yeah, this is a very critical question. Many times we talk about using AI to support our operation, and we talk about customer delight, we talk about bottom line, we talk about top line. So what if on the other side, the body that you're dealing with is an AI agent, and both AI agents are happily talking to each other, hallucinating and creating this fantasy of what is possible. And when it comes to the actual signing of the PO, it doesn't happen, right? So that's a serious issue, and I'm sure customers on their end are thinking, I'm getting so many requests from all the salesmen, right? I get so many requests from all the product sales. What can I do to fend off? And I put an agent in place to deal with it. Right? So that's going to be interesting. Now, the reason why I think about that is I suspect we are all still trapped in the factory logic model, meaning that everything has to go in a certain sequence. Everything has to happen for the sake of happening. But with AI, whether it's just agentic AI or the whole ambit of what AI technology can provide for, you're going to get surprises. Trust me, right? Something's going to happen that you haven't planned for. And Larry talked about testing, right? My answer to Larry's comment about testing is we have to set 2 levels of testing. One is what I call boundary testing, which is all the known factors, and you test them. And anything goes beyond the boundary, human in the loop. Human must come into play to deal with the exceptions. And that's the only way you can deal with how AI is interacting with us and serving with us, right? There's no way you can have 100% tested system that you put out to the field, right? Because it's just so complicated, right? I remember that we were putting together this simple chaos where you do ordering online, right? Fingerprint touching the screens, and you order, and everybody's happy. McDonald's does that. But when we roll out the system, we realized that the elderly could not order online for a very simple reason. Their fingers, the skin is just too thick. Well, beg your pardon for that, but they cannot activate the heat sensitivity. And that wasn't part of the test plan. Right? So it's very important that with AI and advanced technology, we must know that there are so many diverse factors when you roll out production that you do not anticipate. And this is where human has to come into play. So the two issues at hand here, I know, this is your airtime, but, for us to think about it, what if your customer is an AI agent? How do you spot that? How do you deal with it? And secondly, I really urge all C-suites to think beyond the factory logic. You must jump out of this linear progression of doing things. You are expected to get surprises when AI comes into play, either on the supply side or on the demand side. Back to you, Jane.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. So basically, it's a good opportunity for us to experiment with AI, right? This is, I think, a lot of there's still a lot of talk about, how some are resisting the change. There's some fears about the impacts on the labor market, but the opportunities are so immense. It's really, at the end of the day, the limits is really our imagination, isn't it, when it comes to AI, this AI revolution. So I don't know whether any one of you have further comments to add to Oliver's point before we hand it over to Hannes for his presentation.
So I'll just address that, what Oliver said, very well understood. And I guess that's a reality also. So let's say, this whole shift on generative engine optimization, is actually somewhere where AI agent is your customer. Because if you are doing online sales or digital sales via your website, let's say for brands like where e-commerce brands and all, it's already there that a lot of partners have started. A lot of vendors have started giving this option to the customers that they can do agentic bookings, agentic searches, and all that stuff. So it's not that human. If I am searching for the best shoes out there, I am going to Nike's website or Puma's website. May not be I am going, my agent is going, or the Google's agent or Geographies agent is going. It's understanding the conversation of the website and then suggesting me whether what I'm looking for is there or not. So I guess that's all, Oliver, what you are saying. I guess that's already happening in one part of the world where the discovery of brands is already done by agents first, summarized by AI engines, and then given to the human user. And I believe it will increase in future, right? I guess Dr. Vesa, you wanna?
Yeah, Professor Vesa.
Yeah.
Okay, that was quite interesting discussion you had, but I have a question to all of you, so that if AI agent becomes a teammate, does AI agent have ID profile?
I think that's a big question. Yeah, I think that's a big question in cybersecurity right now, because there's so many implementation of agentic cybersecurity defense. And the question is about, how much access is granted to all these agents. But a more fundamental question that people are struggling with right now is a lot of these AI agents don't even have ID. So, how can we talk about access controls if, we're still struggling with provisioning them with identities, or IDs?
So okay. It's a very valid question, Professor Vesa, and this is something we don't have yet an answer to, but you can give IDs to them, but the point is those are not foolproof and tamper-free IDs. So basically those can be replicated, and with all this thing which is happening with this Claude bot, OpenClaw, Moltbot, right? 3 times its name has changed. So it has taken the world by storm, where the agents are creating their own social media and stuff like that. So I guess right now you can give IDs to agents, but then those can be replicated. There's no identity. Just like for human beings, you have iris of your eye, you have DNA, you have your fingerprint and biometric, which is a tamper-proof ID. So the question is, do we have tamper-proof ID for agents right now? The answer is no. And do we need it in the future? Maybe a strong yes. Are we ready for it? I don't know. So I guess that
the next thing we'll be talking about is agent rights, not just human rights, agent rights.
Data and all. Because it's like some machine provisioning, some compute. So see, what our human bodies built of, I think it like that. So you have a brain, you have this, a human body is composed, and then you give them a consciousness. And then consciousness is me, my name, and then I have a legal identity. So AI agents are in that phase right now. The body is being built. maybe the time when robots and robotics and AGI will come, we need to add that consciousness layer. And then that consciousness needs to be tied to a certain ID and given some legality. Again, this is a hypothetical super AGI sci-fi world, but this could be one possibility. Who knows? Maybe 5 years down the line, you are all hailing me. Yeah, you gave this and this is happening. Or maybe this does not happen. But one of the interesting thing, a thought experiment is, yes, as Jane was saying, agent rights, and then agent consciousness, and then identity, and then legality. I don't know what world in what world we'll head on, but we're enjoying the ride. So far it is there.
Perhaps that's the topic. Yeah.
Maybe in your conference we can discuss in detail around research around that topic. Professor Vesa will love to know more details about this and see when that's online or that's offline.
I second that. So I'll be interested to know more as well.
Yes, so that when comes the time when you can argue against AI agent or with AI agent? Is it near?
Yeah, I guess that you can still do that argument like you do with a LLM model, and they are able to reframe their questions and answers with them. They're able to respond to your queries. So maybe if you design the phases of arguments, we're already there in the nascent phase where it understands you, generates a response, either counters you or gives an evidence. So the basis of language understanding and argument. And the other human layers, the ego, the beliefs, the principles, once that comes into picture, if we are able to stabilize few agents with certain thought process, that is, I don't know, maybe nearby, maybe far away. But basic arguments we can still do.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we can go on this topic for another 1 or 2 hours. There's a lot of interesting thoughts to ponder and explore, actually.
Yeah.
But I think we have to give the last 15 minutes to Hanit for his presentation.
For sure. Thanks a lot for that. I'll quickly, make it very interesting and very quick and short. So basically, Modit and Shardul, if you guys can bring up the screen meanwhile. So I'll tell you, as we were saying, we already have 12 products under Rabbit AI which are used. So most of these products are around tech, AI optimization and all. So today I want to introduce a very, very interesting product which we have built almost 4 to 6 months back, already tested and live with few customers. So people ask us, AI is helping to code, AI is helping in marketing, AI is helping in image gen, video gen, all the areas. Can AI help in sales? Can AI be my sales guy? Can AI help in reach out? Because now AI can write the code, AI can build nice designs, AI can do everything what you want it to do. But can AI also help me interact with more humans? Right? This angle a lot of people were missing, that can AI be used to enable, AI is used to enable me to use more technology. That's what all tools are about. But second is, can AI enable me or my brand to reach more humans, more decision makers with that similar efficiency? So that was the base through which we got a lot of customer requests, and we thought, can it be easier to connect with like-minded people with just a prompt, with verified credentials, and can I do transaction with them? So that's why we built something called as Fire Reach. So what's Fire Reach? It's typically built for founders, CXOs, and also the sales teams and the marketing teams for outbound. So it's something, in simple terms, it acts as your 24/7 prospecting guy. So it's a multi-agent architecture system, which is a multi-agent consisting of 5 to 6 agents, which work in tandem for your outreach and outbound purpose. So how it happens is, there are various things. I'll probably go to, discovery and accounts. These are the 2 areas. So what it does essentially is, let's say you are a sales guy, SDR, account executive, or person who's responsible for promoting your brand. So, and you don't know what could be the right fit for my brand. So that's where the research agent comes into the picture. It captures what your company is about, creates your ICP, and then also captures signals all across the world. For example, you are a fintech infra company, and there are a lot of other fintech companies who might use your servers, and banks, and which bank is doing expansion in your country, who is hiring, who is firing, who is. So all those signals, so there are more than 70 different types of signals which are integrated basis the entire web. So someone is hiring, someone is firing, raising funds, they got a better G2 rating, or they've opened up a new country office, they've made CXO announcements. So basis LinkedIn, Crunchbase, Owler, and all other tools, all the information it captures and it creates signals, and basis the signals, it actually tells you that who could be your potential ICPs. And it does that every single day for you. Every time you run it, it finds those kind of companies for you. For example, here, if you see, so what are you selling? You just need to type simple prompt here. What are you selling? What are your target industries? And, you can, so you want to show it. And then whatever the regions and company size, all those things you can add, or you can just skip that. Just write a simple prompt. I run an AI software company. I want to consult clients in Singapore and all that stuff. So basis that, it figures out the relevant companies which could be your potential partners, which could be your potential clients. And with that, if you see on the right-hand side, like this was, so Mudit, what was this created for? This was for what prompt? Healthcare and logistics companies globally, right? Which are right now probably looking for some solutions. So there are some signals, some public announcements or something where they're looking for certain solutions. And this captures, as I was saying, this captures the entire internet, all public information, plus some proprietary information as well, where from those signals that is synthesized for a particular account every single day, that what it refreshes every 24 hours automatically, or you can refresh it any number of times. So it gives you these signals. Once you like those signals, or you want to research about that, so you can click on it. Like, for example, here you can write add to your accounts. And if you see in the signals, it tells you that why it has considered a particular company as a signal. Like DSV in logistics, it has considered it as a signal. If you go back there with it. So it is saying that basically there is a buying signal that they're expanding. And there are some pain points which the AI has figured out about that particular company as an entity, that which they might be interested in your solution. So this works on a large knowledge graph-based architecture on the back end, where we have a lot of mapped lot of companies of the world, and all the entities which are registered with the Google search engine and other engines, and corresponding people directories, so that we are able to fetch all that data, and then the agentic AI works on top of that to qualify those leads and those parameters. And once you add it to your account, then you can perform a deep research on a particular account. If you go back there, and since this is in development phase, like we've tested with almost 50-60 brands, we'll love to test with you guys as well. And if you guys want to help, advise, become this product even better, add more AI capabilities, and as Oliver, you were saying, the areas where it is not capturing the boundary testing and out of the boundary testing, all those areas will be happy to take your feedbacks here or offline as well. So this is where you can create all your accounts. This integrates with all your CRMs, HubSpot, Salesforce, Lead Squared, Google Contacts, Outlook Contacts. So you don't need to set up again. Just one-click integration. Or you can also upload a Excel file of all the companies you want to target. Let's say you have a list of companies, your sales team, which you want to target. You just upload it over here, or it can be derived from the signals. Once it comes over here, this acts like your agentic CRM, which automatically does a deep research on that. So maybe just show one deep research. So the kind of like Flowcast, this is one company which it's not a very big company, but mid-sized company, where it figures out that what that company is, where are their headquarters, what are their customers, basic information, and then some signals that they achieved 100 million ARR milestone in February 2024. They've raised another 100 million Series E funding recently, $1.6 billion valuation. They have it. They've expanded customer base from 2,600 to 3,000 plus in last 1 year. And this kind of public information, their site information, social media information, all those signals it captures, it shows you. And then basis that it also figures out some challenges which the company might be facing. So this acts as a research tool for the SDR or the, the marketing and sales team when they're meeting the customer, that what all they should know about the customer, and majorly works for B2B brands. And then it figures out top 3 most urgent challenges. Sorry, top 3 most urgent challenges basis the agent's capabilities. It figures that out. And then it creates a buyer persona. So buyer persona, the primary KPIs of your, let's say the buyer is here is a CHRO or a CSO or a CMO or a CIO. So it figures out what are the primary KPIs, what is their top priorities, and what is the key asks and likely objections as well. So that you are well aware before pitching to an enterprise that what could be the potential objections. If they're already using a competitor product, it also figures that out. If it's already using, let's say you are pitching a CRM solution, you are pitching a Agentic AI chatbot voice bot solution, they're already using somebody else's voice bot. So the our FireReach AI is able to decode that and put it over here that, okay, you are pitching, let's say, so Vijay, you are pitching your solution. So they are currently using 11 Labs, or they're using this thing, or they're using Vani AI or ABC something already for their thing, or they're not using. So this kind of information it captures through entire internet scrunching and gives it over here. And then it does the service to pain mapping basis what you have and what this thing is. Then it creates the entire PPT and emails and these things which you can share with your customers. And if you go down, it also shares the competitive landscape and then the sales narrative. So these are the, and this same thing can be imported to a presentation. It can automatically, from here, it can automatically figure out KDMs of the company, key decision makers, whom to reach out to, and shoot out outbound email to them, which should not look like a spam. It does a very narrow down research, just as a outreach a GTM engineer would do, that these are the kind of companies which are very relevant to me. These are the kind of personas and job roles which are relevant to me. Then when they reach out to them, it's a very personalized thing. For example, if someone is reaching out to Romain Yu, so the agent will be able to capture you were here at the AI World Org Forum. So somebody can say, I live tuned into your AI World Org Forum. I heard about you saying this thing. And you know what? We are building a similar thing. Want to get your guidance and advisory. Would you come over a 15-minute call with our founder? So this kind of email it creates and it sends it out automatically to you. So there is a human in the loop, or it can work automatically. There are 2 modes for FireReach, autopilot and copilot. Copilot is where you check every mail, but it sends it out. And autopilot is keeps on doing that and generates 10 leads, 20 leads for you every single day, and just books your calendar so that your work starts from the calendar itself. So it works as your entire sales team in a black box. What you just tell your prompt, and within few days or every day you are just getting meetings in your calendar with the context of this was sent to them. This is what they liked. This is what they asked. And this is a meeting. Now you go as a human, or your team goes as a human, and start the conversation. So it was built with this purpose that humans are good at conversations with humans. Let AI handle the logistic outreach and that part, and let it brief humans, act as a real good assistant and an amplifier of human connections. So, and then there are recommendations as well, what you can sell to them. All this data right now is in textual line, but this can be converted into a nice pitch deck. And this is a sequence of emails which you can share with them. And the agent also, we made it an explainable AI. It tells you wherever it has made assumptions and wherever there are data gaps. So there might be some companies where the entire data is not available. It explicitly tells you that this was available, this was not available. All sources are cited. And this is where potential gaps are there. It also gives certain search results and all. And Mudit, if you can go back to now the KDM part, when they in research the relevant people from that company, where it fetches data from LinkedIn. So within the company, when you click on contacts, you can click on your target buyer. So there are a few options: CMO, CIO, VP marketing. All these are fetched roles which are there in the company, and it figures out, okay, these are the 2 people which are in your preferred job role. And from here itself, you click on them. You can from here itself. So the phone number is not available, but you can integrate your Apollo, Lucia, Zoom Info credits, or other enrichment tools. We also have our own enrichment tool, but email ID it picks up, and all the skills and the profile, work experience, everything is fetched in about that person, and then you can reach out to that person directly from the dashboard. And so LinkedIn reach out is possible. WhatsApp reach out is possible in the countries wherever this is allowed. And then email reach out is possible. And majorly globally, we work only on emails. Country-wise, we have different as per the different regulations and all that stuff. And we are GDPR compliant, right? We don't take any personal info, and we don't also reveal any personal info. It is all professional available data which is utilized, and public information which is utilized, and everybody can subscribe out of this. The last thing is, now all this is a dashboard, but then we also wanted to build another agentic AI layer on top of that, where someone can just chat, come here, type that, help me find top leads in this area, reach out to them. So you can just write like in a chat window, which Modit is showing in the screen, Shadul is showing on the screen currently. So for example, right now he has mentioned, write a mail to Michael based on the account research. So it gets all the context. Who is Michael? Which Michael? Michael can be so many entities. But since you have performed this research here itself, it gets all the context. And it drafts an email for Michael, and then you can send the email to Michael. And just like a ChatGPT interface, because